Good morning, sorry for the delay, just got a bit delayed getting started. Today is the 30th of December 2024 and I'll quickly go over today's levels I'm watching. On my screen we are looking at the 1 hour time frame for the ES, which is the S&P E-mini futures. There's a few more options added in now. Before we start, let's just see what news can move the market today. We've got PMI at 9:45, so just be aware of that, and we've got home sales 10 and 10:30. So basically 9:45, 10 and 10:30 we've got medium news events, so just be wary of it in a trade. So looking at levels, this is the ES. Get my pen open. Basically, I'm going to be watching today for the break and retest of pre-market low, 59.45. Want to see it confirm this downtrend, and then I'll be looking for a pullback into Friday's low for rejection as well at 59.83. Once my pen loads, I will draw on the screen. That's why it's taking so long. I just rebooted, so just need to load it up. And then the only place I can watch really for a bounce is probably down at the lows of the 9th, the 20th. Let's just draw some in. So this area here, it's a big area of, that's in black, so let's do it in yellow. This round here. So I'm watching this 58.80 for a bounce, that region there. I'm looking for a retest into this 59.80 area, which is Friday's low. And I'm looking for a break and retest short of the pre-market low. So basically I'm looking for a break and retest into that area. Looking for a bounce in that area, something like this. I want to come in, see a nice bottom tail set up. I'll be watching the 15-minute chart as well for a better confirmation. And then try and find a long entry if we get into that area. And if we push back up into the Friday's low, this area here, I'll be looking for a rejection. Potentially I'll be looking for something like this, topping tail, maybe a bit of indecision, no more follow through, and then look for maybe a break, like a lower high or something like that. So that's what I'll be looking for down here as well. And that's pretty much it. That's all the levels I'm watching today. And let's quickly flick over to, let's just go over to the order flow, because there's something interesting setting up. You can see on my screen you've got the order flow, got today's news. But you can see here we have a bit of a divergence. So we've got price is declining, we've got cumulative delta is increasing. So there's big divergence here, so we could be seeing that we've got aggressive buying coming in, but the price is declining, means that the buyers are potentially being absorbed by the sellers. Where we are pre-market low, so there's no main area I can see, no previous levels, so I'm not sure why that would be happening. You know, the volume at the moment, we can expect it to be like half of what we usually expect, so it's very difficult to trade when it's like this. Let's flip back to the main screen, but that's it really, there's nothing else. That's the only thing to be wary of. There's nothing else on the cumulative, on the order flow, what stands out. In fact, there was one thing actually, let me just get my pen. We got all of this area here where we just went sideways, and these are aligned points of controls. So if we do push back up into this high 61.15 area, we could potentially watch for a rejection around that area. Where's that happen to be? And it happens to be pre-market high area where we were earlier. So potentially that might hold, but we just need to keep an eye on that. We do have, let me just flip back to the main chart again. In that same area we do have this point of control as well, so we know that's where all the volume's been running through. 60.16, exactly the area we saw those aligned point of control, so keep an eye on that area for potential rejection. That's another level we can watch. And obviously my pre-market high, if it breaks above it and comes back down and retests it, I'll be looking for a long, but that will be going against this trend we're currently in at the moment. Okay, so looking at SPY, exactly the same as ES. I'm looking for a retest into this region. I've already got it marked up, an area we was watching last week. 59.90 to 51.90 to 59, sorry, 592 down to 590.70. This area here for rejection. Break and retest below pre-market low. Break and retest down. I'm not sure this is a good place now. I'll have a look, see what that's there for. But we can watch for a bounce also down to this 578, 579 area. And that's it for ES. Let's just see what that level's for. Okay, that's previous area of confluence, tops of pivots, bottoms of pivots here. But we had this big move in and out of it. So maybe I'll keep it in there for now. But I'll be looking to tidy up the charts probably for the new year. SPX levels. We can watch this region here, Friday's high. Didn't quite come into that area, but we did have a big reaction to that area, so we are putting in this kind of trend line. So we're holding that trend line. So we can potentially watch for rejections back up here again. But again, these are the levels to watch for, and nothing's really changed. Same levels as last week, with the addition of Friday's low. We can watch that there for a rejection. In fact, we should be opening up probably around here, I'd imagine, 5900. So watch 5900 psychological number as well for a bounce. NQ, I'm going to keep it short today because it's a half volume week and I'm probably not going to trade, but I'm just here anyway. NQ, break and retest of 21,358, which is the pre-market low. Look for the pullback into this Friday's low area, 21,500. Big psychological number as well, so I do quite like that for the rejection. Not only do we have Friday's low, we have a pivot low from the 23rd and a big area confluence as well. And we have a lot of volume over here to the left hand side, so that is probably the best play for today to watch for. 21,500 on NQ. And obviously we've got the bounce down at 2100 down here, another psychological number. QQQ, exactly the same. Watching for a rejection, Friday's low, 517.85. If we go into pre-market high, yesterday's high, we do have this point of control with big volume shelf. We've got a couple of volume shelves there as well. So this is a region we can look for a rejection in 522 down to 520, that area there. And just keep an eye on that trend line. If we're coming back up into this region, potentially might be continue the trend down. And then bounce, we've got this area of demand just here as well, 508 to 506 for a bounce. And obviously break and retest are on the cards as well. And I'll just quickly flick through the others we normally watch. Oil is making a breakout. We talked about this. Let's draw the lines in. I said potentially we've got this flag setting up. We had this big move up. I'm looking for the break and retest, and we kind of broke out, retested that trend line. Look at that, that's perfect. I haven't really been keeping an eye on it the last few days, but we're looking like we're breaking out right now. So if we were to find a rejection point, it's going to have to be around this area here. Add that in as a potential level. 72 for the rejection, happens to be on that trend line. Otherwise we can watch for the break and retest of 71, which is previous high pivot, this area here, break and retest of this region. In fact, we can watch for a break and retest of this entire region. That's the only play. I don't see many rejections really. Oil, this is gold. Still hovering around this trend line. Doesn't look very strong at all, looking a bit strong. We're holding these zones, you can see these zones, we've broken down through the zone. We're actually at a break and retest point right now, 26.28. So maybe watch for a rejection to continue this downtrend. And we've got this bounce area here, which is 2600, psychological number. RTY, still continuing this downtrend. We had this low volume pullback, we talked about this last week, and now we've finally broken through, come back up, retest, and potentially watching for more downside. So the only place I can watch for a bounce will be down here at 22.20. Otherwise, a break and retest a pre-market low to continue this downtrend and hopefully break that bottom. That's all I can see there really. YM still in this downtrend. Look at that, I love that downtrend, it's beautiful. That's what a trend line should look like, a trend in stock. Higher highs, higher lows. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. And then the big sell off on volume, FOMC. Putting in this flag, we talked about this as well. Lots of volume, decline in volume, and then suddenly we broke down, came back up. Look at that, perfect break and retest and rejection. I haven't been trading for a few days, so I've missed all of this, but that's exactly what I expected to do. And we talked about that, and I said that's to watch out for. So hopefully somebody caught that, and you can see the volume coming in. That's what you want to see. That's like the starting of a new trend volume as well, starting volume. And then finally, Bitcoin is holding this area here. Look at this. What do we see? One of my favourite patterns. Is this the left shoulder here? Are we looking at the head here? Maybe the right shoulder? Maybe this is the left shoulder, depends, or you could say all of this is the left shoulder. Oh, really bad drawing. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, kind of. You need to use your imagination, but it's a pattern which is very common, something I watch for all the time. And then that means we've got a neckline here, which is what we've got drawn off. So what we're looking for is a break and retest of that area. 91.80, 91.880, basically 92,000 rejection. Otherwise, we can watch this also for a bounce. And I think that's it. Okay, so ES is just doing what it does. So just to recap the levels: pre-market low, break and retest, and then a rejection into that area there, and that's the areas. I'm going to call it there because I think my doorbell's just gone. Okay.